everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So I said that we were gonna do some family homes this week. I know that the one that I did was a Thursday, I think, didn't end up being a family home, but when I started building it, it was supposed to have been one. So I said that I was gonna at least do one this week, and here it is. So I had a lot of fun building this one. I tried to do something like just not necessarily something different with the interior, but at least try to add a lot of detail to it. So I hope you guys will like that. It's on the rustic side as well. It's a little bit darker. It does have a few industrial touches to the interior without being full-on industrial. And I just had a good time decorating it. So yeah, I hope you guys will like it. But I also wanted to say Merry first Sunday in Advent. I think that is how you say it in English. I don't even know if any of you celebrating from like the UK or Australia or the US, Canada, or any other English speaking country even celebrate Advent. But basically what it is, just in case you did not know, although I don't know the religious aspects to it, I'm just gonna say that out like straight up, but every Sunday before Christmas, so that includes the Sunday, if Christmas falls on a Sunday, that includes that Sunday as well, but every 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, we celebrate a Sunday in Advent. So we light a candle here in Denmark. Sometimes if you live at home or if you have a partner or just a good friend or something, maybe you'll give each other presents as well. I got one from my mom today. I know that it's a calendar that I'm gonna open the first door in on Wednesday, because that's the 1st of December. Yeah, with tea in it. So yeah, that's what I got. But usually you would get like something, maybe like a book or I don't know, something not necessarily too pricey either, depending on your budget, of course, but like you get a present basically every Sunday leading up to Christmas. So it's instead of a Christmas calendar that some kids get during Christmas, maybe in my family, we kind of upgraded to Advent presents instead of calendars when we were teenagers, just because it's a lot. Like 24 presents leading up to Christmas is quite a lot, and a lot of them were like lower quality, I would say, because otherwise it would have cost a lot of money. So we just ended up basically upgrading it, so combining all the money from 7 presents into 1, and then getting 4 smaller or bigger presents compared to the Christmas calendar presents instead. So that's basically what we do here, and that means it's officially Christmas time. At least here it is. At least in my rule book, it is. So yeah, I am having a good Sunday, although I'm really, really tired. But I just wanted to say Merry first Sunday in Advent, and may the Christmas times begin. I was supposed to have started decorating yesterday, but because I was building this house, I didn't have time. So I hope I can find time to do it tomorrow, because I really want everything to be decorated before the 1st. Otherwise, that would be really sad, right? So tomorrow I'm gonna go Christmas shopping with my mom, so I'm taking a day off any kind of work, and I hope that means that I can find time in the evening to decorate my apartment. That would be really nice. So we're also wrapping presents. We already got most of it done because she works in Norway, so we just wanted to get stuff done. I always coordinate with her because she knows that I love to buy Christmas presents, so I just kind of decide what everyone gets, and then we just kind of split the cost and stuff. So that's how we usually do it. That's how we've done it for years. Even when I lived in Scotland, we made sure that I could get home before Christmas so that we still had one day to basically just buy all the presents, and except from those presents I brought over from Scotland. But we've basically held on to this tradition for a very long time by now, so it's just how we do things. But because she works in Norway, we wanted to get a quick start to the stressful parts of Christmas, which is basically finding Christmas presents for everyone. So we've already gotten most of it done. I think we're only missing like 2 people or something, and that is basically it. So we don't have a lot of Christmas shopping to do tomorrow. We're just gonna have a good time, cozy up, have breakfast together, and then Oh, we're gonna wrap some presents, and then hopefully I will have time to also decorate my apartment. So I hope you guys are having a great time. I said this in the last video, but I hope that if you're not celebrating Christmas, you're also having a great time and that you're still cozying up. Even if it's not winter time, you can still cozy up during summer. Just don't cover yourselves in a lot of blankets, I suppose, if it's like warm where you live during the summer. I feel like you could get away with wearing a blanket if there's no, like here during summer, if there's no heat wave. I think you could get away with it in the evenings, but I don't know. The world is different. We have a lot of different places with a lot of different climates. So I just hope that you're doing great and that you're having a lovely Sunday. Even if you don't celebrate Advent stuff, I still hope that you're having a great Sunday regardless. So for this house, let's talk about it. I just wanted to get the Christmas stuff out of the way, just rant a little bit about it because it excites me, it makes me happy. So, yep. But for this house, this is for 2 parents. There's also room for a teen and a kid. And for the bottom floor, I try to go for an open floor concept as well. I did something a little bit different in there. We'll see in just a little bit. Like I said, I wanted to add some details. I wanted to make sure that the car here was not in the way as well. So I had to play test that a couple of times because I know that the driveway is really, really narrow. And it probably, if I hadn't play tested it, the car would actually have blocked the path leading up to the staircase to the front porch so that your Sims would not have been able to enter the house through the front door, but it's fixed, so don't worry about that. The facade of the build was also inspired by a picture that I found on Surprised Pinterest, as always. I didn't follow anything else. I just saw the house, the front of the house, and I thought it looked cute, so I wanted to take inspiration from it, but the floor plan is something that I have made myself. The color scheme as well, I believe I made myself, I'm pretty sure. And the everything else, it's just the facade, like the shape of the facade. I also had to change it up a little bit because there are certain things about the roofing that weren't possible to do in The Sims, or at least it would have required a lot of, it would have required a lot of adjustments and I don't know. So I made it a little bit different and I like how it looks, so that is okay. They basically have 2 living rooms and then also a very big office/reading room. You'll see that as well. They have a lot of bookcases in there and also a couch, so that's why I'm calling it an office/reading room, because I could totally imagine myself wanting a room like that at some point if I ever had the space for it. So just like a room with a lot of bookcases and then a couch that you could lie on to read those books on the bookcases. Does that make sense? But there's still like a desk in there and also a computer and, you know, everything else that you would need in a home office. So it's kind of like a mix of the two. But they have basically 2 living rooms because up here on the 2nd floor on the landing, I decided to make a little entertainment area. So they have essentially a 2nd living room up there, but it just kind of made sense because downstairs with the open floor concept, I feel like realistically, if the kids were sitting there watching cartoons all day, I think the parents would probably be a little bit annoyed by it. So because they had the space, I figured, okay, so I could just add another little living space where the children could watch their cartoons or whatever they want to watch. Just have like the TV on at max volume or whatever, and it wouldn't annoy anyone else living in this house. Plus, they also have a couple of consoles up there as well, so they can play on the TV, and that's why it's called an entertainment area, sort of. I don't really know what to call it. I'm sure there's a term for it. I just don't know it, but they have their little entertainment area up there. It's also a little bit less formal compared to this living room situation right here, even though it's not, like, nothing in this house is formal per se. It's definitely not supposed to be, at least. It's supposed to be very chill, cozy, rustic vibes, that sort of thing. So not like super styled or I don't know, whatever else we can call it. I just wanted it to be cozy and warm and, you know, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't say like the living room on the bottom floor is super formal in any way, but it's definitely a little bit nicer than the living room on the landing upstairs. I just wanted to tone it down a little bit. There's a couple of posters there. The couches look a little bit cheaper as well compared to these ones that are, yes, from the Industrial Loft Kit, but I realized I've barely ever used them and they added this sort of touch of rustic, industrial kind of vibe that I really wanted to introduce into this house, or including this house as well. So, and also I could not find a coffee table that was fitting. It was a struggle, so I ended up going with this one and then tying the lighter wood color in with the wood color on the side table, if that makes sense. I don't know. It was the whole thought process when I put it down. I don't know. The things you think when you build, but like afterwards, I just remember thinking about this, but normally I don't actually feel like I think a lot when I decorate. I just kind of do stuff, but I do think it through. I just don't remember what I thought afterwards. Does that make any sense? I feel like I'm confusing myself, but with this, like, where am I going with this? Anyway, I just remember that coffee table especially because I could not find a fitting coffee table, so I had to go for that one. And trust me, I tried. I tried with the Seasons ones, both of them, and they would not, especially the actual rustic one, because it's just so chunky. I could have sliced it down, scaled it down with tulle. I could have done that. I forgot that's the thing with furniture as well. I gotta remember that for the future. I've only done a couple of builds since I installed tulle anyway, so I'm still trying to figure out how to use it exactly and see what it can do and stuff. So, you know, I forgot that you could also size or scale up and down furniture as well. That is a thing, not just rugs or whatever else we want to scale. So I could have used that on the coffee table. It's a really nice coffee table. It's just so clunky, right? The very rustic one from Seasons, you know which one I'm talking about. It's gorgeous. It's just so chunky. So, but that one would have been perfect. I also don't think it came in the right color anyway, but I could be misremembering. I'm actually happy that I went for a lighter color. I know that we're in the kitchen right now, but I'm still gonna rant about the coffee table, so bear with me. But I am actually happy that I went with a lighter color, because with this amount of dark brown, the whole interior, you could risk it ending up looking way too dark. Does that make sense as well? So you gotta add a couple of furniture pieces here and there. That might not necessarily match the best with the rest of the furniture, but at least it lightens it up a little bit. It brightens up the interior, so it's not all just dark brown, because it can get a little bit heavy. So in here, for example, I ended up going with these dining chairs that I don't think the wood tone on them actually match the wood tone on the dining table, but they brighten it up just a little bit while still being brown. And then, of course, another thing is that I always go for white walls. When we're doing interior like this, that's not supposed to be super dark, but just rustic and still... It's not supposed to be overly dark, but rustic and still dark. Does that make sense? I don't, probably doesn't. Anyway, but when we do interiors like this, I like to just go for either white walls or gray ones. And I've also gone for a couple of accented walls in this house as well. So there's both a brick, I almost called it an exposed brick wall, but it's not really exposed per se. I don't really know what to call it. There's a brick wall, but it's not exposed, but it kind of is. Yeah, I'm sure there's a term for it and I just don't know it because I've never heard of before or read it or whatever. So, you know, moving on. But just wanted to add a couple of accented walls and also a little bit of texture, essentially. So the bathrooms are both super tiny. They are stacked on top of each other. So where you see this bathroom on the floor plan, the other one is basically on top of this one. I believe, as far as I remember, I think I put it in the same spot on the upstairs floor. It's super simple. There's not a lot going on in there, but it has the essentials. It's just a typical small bathroom. For me, I have said this before, but I don't enjoy decorating bathrooms, so I just don't care too much about them, and therefore they kind of just turn out to be very simple and small, like take up as little space as possible, take as little time to do as possible. I'd rather spend the time on something else, to be honest, because there are more exciting things to decorate in a house than a bathroom. So yeah, it is what it is. I have done bigger bathrooms before. They're not always super tiny and super simple, but with a house like this, I feel like it's okay to just spend my time on something else. I also just remembered that I forgot to place down hampers. There is a laundry room. It's not detailed in any way whatsoever, but there's a couple of laundry machines in there. However, I forgot to place down hampers, so I'll make sure to do that before uploading this to the gallery and also Patreon, so don't worry about that. You'll probably see the hampers missing when we start decorating the bedrooms, which is where I'm going to place them. I just forgot. So, because honestly, I forgot I placed down the laundry room. I'm just gonna say it out loud. I'm just gonna admit to it. I forgot that I made a laundry room, okay? So this is what I called the office slash reading room. It's basically where the garage is, but instead of making it a garage and wasting the space on something that's just not interesting at all, because garages also suck. So I said what I said anyway. I decided to cover up the wall with the windows that are technically on the garage door that I improvised myself, so it's kind of an awkward door this time. I don't know how to explain it. Could have used the door from City Living, I suppose, but it just didn't color-wise fit with the rest of the house. Or maybe it did, and I don't remember. Anyway, I decided against it at least, so I made my own garage door. However, I decided to cover up the wall with just basically closing it off with another wall and then just pretend like the room is not a garage. I do that sometimes. So basically the garage door and also the car outside is just for show. It is anyway because the car doesn't work. If we actually have functional cars, I'd make it a point to do proper garages because you'd have to store or park your car somewhere, you know? But so far they're just kind of there. So I don't know if we'll ever get functional cars in The Sims 4. Don't know. Honestly, I feel like at this point it's a little bit late because the game has been out for 7 years, so I feel like we should have gotten them already, but that's just my opinion. I am also completely fine with just the decorative cars anyway, because I mainly build, so it doesn't really bother me in any way when it comes to gameplay. I don't feel like I'm missing functional cars, but again, I don't really play, I just build, so this is the parents' bedroom, and I really wanted to do something fancy in here. It turned out that the room is a little bit on the smaller side, so it wasn't really possible to do the fancy thing that I wanted to do. However, I decided to, and I know this little mixture of furniture pieces that I've come up with here is more on the modern side. It's a little bit clean compared to the rest of the house. However, it's still dark, so color-wise at least it fits. I think it's okay to just sway away from... Like, it does not all have to be super matchy-matchy when it comes to the furniture. Love that bed swatch, by the way. Yep, I'm happy that I remembered that's a thing because I was having issues trying to choose a bed for them as well because honestly, the rustic beds that we have are not the greatest. So I probably would have ended up going for one of the beds that I usually go for. So, or I don't want to say usually, but one of the beds that I go for more often than the others. So the one from Eco Lifestyle, for example, I tend to use that one a fair amount. Also the Bowling Stuff Pack, I think it's from Bowling Stuff Pack. Maybe it's not. It's the same style. It's mid-century modern. I would have gone for that one, even though that's not rustic either. But I know it comes in a swatch that's fitting. So I'm happy that I remembered that that bed is also a thing in The Sims. It's from City Living. It's beautiful. Love it. I'm losing my voice. Let's just ignore it. Let's just power through this voiceover. I don't know. It happens anyway. So up here is the landing where I place down the other living room. So as you can see, it's not really like a full-on living room. It's more like a entertainment area. It's not the most decorated, but it's also not supposed to be super pretty or styled or whatever. It's just supposed to be this little cozy space where the kids can sit and chill. So if they have friends over, they can sit here and have like a movie night or play on the consoles together. Maybe sit there, listen to some music while they talk as well. That is a possibility, you know. We can still talk to each other instead of watching TV. Yeah, they just have this little space for them. And then the two kids' bedrooms are next to each other. I think this one here is for the teen, yes, and the other one obviously for the kid. I actually ended up not really putting in any... like, what's it called? Hobby items or anything like that. So they don't have an easel, they don't have a music instrument, they don't have whatever else hobbies that you can have. So if you have any ideas what they like to do with their free time, let me know. Maybe they just like to game on the console in the entertainment area. I don't know, maybe that is a thing. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I think it's the same for the kids' room. I focus more on making enough space for toys in there. So that's also why I went with one of the loft beds so that they could have their like little study area under the loft bed, and then they have just a lot of toys in there. Or the bigger toys. The toys take up so much space. I think I've said this before, but I am surprised at how big dollhouses are. I've never seen one in real life. Honestly, never in my life seen a dollhouse. I would not know how big they are, but when I saw one in The Sims for the first time, I was shocked because it's huge. Like, I have had issues ever since I started building. I've had issues figuring out how to find space for this dollhouse and also where to put it, because honestly, it kind of just takes up so much space, and like you can't really put stuff behind it, and does it take up the entire corner of a bedroom? I don't really know. It's a mystery to me. I don't understand them. Never seen one in real life. I don't know what to do about this dollhouse. Oh yeah, but there was one thing. I think the kid here likes Neopets. I did it again. That's not what they're called. I remember doing that in a voiceover like months ago. Void critters. I don't know why I want to call them Neopets. Shout out to Neopets, by the way. Yes, I was on that wave. I love Neopets. I was so good at the memory games. So yeah, not to brag or anything. But also, didn't they have like a snake game? I think I was okay at that too, but the memory games I nailed. If I wanted a lot of coins or currency or whatever it was called, Neo coins probably, I don't really know, I don't remember. I would go for the memory game because I was really, really good at it. So anyway, I miss my Neopets now. I gotta, maybe they've all passed because I've not visited them for like years and years. I don't really know. Anyway, the void critters. I feel like the kid is into void critters. They just don't have a collection of like the cards or anything yet, but they could definitely be asking their parents for that a lot. Maybe ask them for Winterfest or whatever it's called in The Sims. So the backyard is pretty simple. They have the pool, they have a couple of lounge chairs, no outside dining area. I could not fit it in anywhere. It would have to be down here by the lounge chairs or instead of the lounge chairs. So that is, if you really want them to have an outdoors dining area, I would take out the lounge chairs and then place it down there. Just a little tip or whatever. They also have a sand pit with a jungle monkey bar, that thing that the kids can crawl on, and that is basically it. So after we're done with this, we're done with the build, so I'm gonna wrap up this voiceover now. If you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. As always, trade files can be found on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below. If there's anything else you want to see me build, let me know in the comments section. I am up for suggestions throughout December. I'm going to be pre-recording a lot because I'm going to Copenhagen to celebrate Christmas, so let me know if there's anything you want to see. If you like book videos, check out my other channel. It will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment, and that is all I got for you today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!